All right, welcome back. It's 8:41. It's only Wednesday, but there's already a lot happening across the nation, from the ongoing government shutdown to National Guard deployments and political turmoil.
NewsNation anchor Chris Cuomo joining us live to talk about some of the top stories he's talking about on his show. Chris, good to see you as always.
How you doing, my beautiful friends?
Oh,
Great.
We are doing well this morning. You know, let's talk about this. There's so much going on, Chris, right? And there's the deployment of the National Guard in the United States. Cities continue to see National Guards. Look at what's happening in Chicago, right? Lawsuits have now been filed there. What happens next, I guess, for Chicago when it comes down to it? Because this time it seems different than what played out in L.A.
Litigation, and I do believe that this is a dangerous procedure. It's unnecessary. It is performative, and it is potentially a step towards it being okay for the president to bring in the military anywhere he wants for anything he wants. And I do get that concern. Pritzker, the governor of Illinois, yapping and exchanging insults is meaningless. It just foments tension, which is what it seems to me every politician, every pundit, everybody who wants to get paid or make advantage in politics today is in on division. You know, even your last guest, everybody is fomenting tension. That's what works. Litigation, the judiciary is our last best hope right now. Unelected, these Article 3 judges, unelected, yeah, some are good, some aren't as good, but unelected, no term. You'll see different outcomes on this question. I think legally, here's where it comes down, which is really frustrating for a lot of people, not for me, but the president has the right to be wrong. And I think when they litigate this, if ICE is getting protested, can't function, any of the buildings get damaged, there's any violence towards them, a court will ultimately find the president has the right to determine whether or not there's a need to protect the federal assets with the National Guard. I don't like that ruling, but I understand it.
All right, well, let's switch gears a little bit. Talk about the government shutdown. It's in its 8th day now. It doesn't seem like anybody's talking to each other. No one's trying to reach a middle ground. So what needs to happen next? And the big question is, if this shutdown actually goes on until Election Day, do you think it's going to play close in the races all across the country? Well,
that's a good question, Hazel. So if it continues until the elections, they're not the midterms that we're talking about, right? And that would be different. I don't think either side would want to let it go until then, although I could be wrong, because division is all that works for them right now. That's why they're not talking. You know why they're not talking, right? They're not talking because they're raising more money off the shutdown and the tension than they were before it, right? And they get paid, right? Because Congress is a mandatory fund under the Constitution. They're not part of discretionary spending, so they get paid, even though they're not working, ironically, right? So that's why the shutdown continues. I have to tell you, on the issue, the Democrats have the right fight, okay? You should not pay for tax cuts on the backs of people who need Medicaid subsidies. And now the other piece that nobody talks about on the left, well, reimbursement rates that do wind up covering emergency care for people who are here lawfully or unlawfully. If I were the Democrats, I would give that issue to the Republicans. Here, what do you want to do with the reimbursement rates? You tell us, and then you justify it. We want to focus on Medicaid. You reimburse the states whatever you want. You want to reimburse them zero? Great. You own that. Yeah. Give them the issue. Take the sting out of being for illegal health care. And that's what I would do if I were they, but they're not doing it because they prefer the tension.
Well, you just laid it out because that when you look at what the sticking point is, everybody automatically thinks it's the health care only for the illegal immigrant portion of it, and there's a much larger conversation that's playing out in real time, as you just laid out, Chris. Also, what's going on in Virginia right now? There's a lot going on. We're actually, Nexstar is hosting the governor's debate later this week there, but there's a lot going on in terms of text messages that were leaked involving the Democratic Attorney General nominee, Jay Jones, calling now for him to drop out. Is that pressure going to mount? Is he going to drop out, you think?
I don't know that he's a big enough deal.
What did the messages say?
For it. Look, they are Look, he has said himself he regrets the messages, right? So they were controversial, prejudicial texts. Let's just put it that way. Now, why am I being hedgy about it? Because I really think that this is the root of the problem. You know, there's nothing in there like he said, I want to blow up America, you know, or anything that would be obviously criminal, obviously destructive to the democracy. He said ugly things that he regrets having said. As long as that is our state of play, that we're in constant gotcha mode, and it's never about ideas for the whole, just the foibles of the one, we don't get to a better place. However, that said, I don't think he's a big enough deal for the pressure to stay on him. But as a Democrat, there is a better chance that he has to drop.
All right, Chris. Always great chatting with you.
Listen, I wish I had better things to tell you people. I enjoy watching your coverage. I think you're doing it the right way. I believe in hope. Hope is not a plan, but I cling to it because it is the only antidote to cynicism. I just don't see how anything gets better right now. Yeah. Doing it this way is working too well for people on both sides. They win off the shutdown. We lose. People who need services, people who are furloughed, have delayed salaries. But in terms of the fringes and the invective, this is like candy to them. I don't know how it gets better.
All right. Well, hopefully hope wins eternal. Chris, your show 8 p.m. tonight on NewsNation. Good to chat with you as always. If you don't know where NewsNation is, you can check it out at newsnationnow.com and find out what channel it is where you are.